Everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to scan documents in Expo React Native. So we will be creating a native module for this. For Android we will be using the MLKit document scanning library, and for iOS we will be using VisionKit. So let's get started. So here firstly we'll have to create a default project. Now I will be using this blank TypeScript template, but you are free to use whatever template you prefer. The reason I'm using blank TypeScript template is because it has very less code. That's why if you use this default template, it has a lot of boilerplate code which I don't really like. That's why I'm using this. So for that I already have this command, so we'll have to use this particular command. So I'll copy it and go to your workspace directory wherever you want to create your project, and just run this particular command. It will ask you for the project name. I'll just keep it things simple, just my app, and it will do all the things for you. Now given that we have to create a native module, if you check by running this particular command we don't get the Android and iOS folder, so we need to generate the Android and iOS folder so for inside our project. So for that what we'll have to do is we'll have to go to this particular command. So I'll just open that as well. Here you can see first I have selected Android. Build is development build, don't select Expo Go is only for prototyping. And here I have disabled this EAS because I will be doing all the builds locally. I don't care about EAS. I have already done all these setups like installing Watchman, then this Cask, Zulu, and setting the Java home path. I have already installed Android Studio as well. So if you haven't done already all the steps, you will have to do it. I won't tell you all this stuff, otherwise the tutorial will be huge. Now once all this stuff is done, you will have to run this particular command inside our project. So I'll just copy this command, and here our project is created. So I'll just cd to our project and then run this particular command. Now this will install the dev client for us, so this won't create the Android folder for us. Okay, so as you can see, I have opened our project inside VS Code, and we don't see the Android as well as the iOS folder. So like I told you, I have already run this particular command. Now the next thing which we have to do for Android is we'll have to run this particular command. So I'll just copy it and I'll paste it over here. So this will generate the Android folder for us. Also, if you have already installed, so it is asking me for package name. I'll just keep it as default. I'll just click on enter. If you want, you can change the package name. Typically the package name is com.your-company-name.your-app name. Now if you see inside our project, it has created the Android folder for us. Now it does take little bit of time to do the Gradle syncing, and then here you can see it is giving me an error because I don't have an Android emulator installed. I tried to test it on a real device. Also I haven't connected my real device to my laptop yet. That's why it is throwing me an error, but this error is fine because I don't have any intention of running the app right now because we haven't written any code, so it doesn't make any sense. Next for iOS, so that's it for Android. So for iOS, just select this iOS device, and again we'll scroll back. So I have already done all this setup for Xcode and all this. We have already ran this command for Android, so we don't have to run it again for iOS. I'll just scroll down, I'll copy this command and I'll paste it over here. Now this will take little bit of time, but it will also generate the iOS folder for us. Again it is asking me for a bundle identifier. I'll keep it as it is, but again you can change it to whatever you feel like. So if you see, it has created the iOS folder, but the CocoaPod installation will take a little bit of time, so be patient. So in the meantime I will show you few other things. So we have to go to this particular URL as well. So I'll open that. This will help us to create a native module. So once the CocoaPod installation is done, I will come back and show you the next steps. Okay guys, so as you can see, my CocoaPod installation is finished, and it has selected my simulator and asking me to run it on my simulator, but I don't want to run it because we haven't written any code. It will just run our default project, which I don't want. So I will just press Ctrl+C. Okay, so next we have to install the native module. So I'll just copy this command and I'll paste it over here. Now it will ask me for my module name. So again, I'll keep things simple. I'll just name it as my module. You can name it whatever you feel like. Here I'll just click on enter. I'll click on enter again. Okay, now again it will do some npm installation stuff. So it has already finished. Now again we have to do pod installation for our native module which we have created. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Again, this will take little bit of time, so be patient. If you see our project, it has created this modules my module file. So let's wait for this CocoaPod installation script to finish. So the CocoaPod installation for me was done. Now I will tell you, I have already created one practice project for myself because there is a lot of code involved and I can't remember all the code by myself. So I will be copying code from these two projects which I have created, one for iOS and one for Android. So don't get confused. I will try to explain you as much as I can. So first we'll look into Android. So for Android we just have to go to modules, my module, Android. Okay, firstly we'll have to open this build.gradle because we have to copy one dependency. So this is the dependency which we have to use. So I'll just copy this, and inside our project I will have to go to module, my module, Android, build.gradle. I'll scroll down and I will paste it over here. Now at the time of me recording this video, this MLKit document scanner library is still in beta, but I think by the time you guys watch it, it might be stable. So how can you know that? So for that you can go to this particular URL, you can scroll down, and here you can see they have mentioned the version number, like whatever is the latest version number at the time of you watching this video, make sure you use that. But at the time of me recording it is 16.0.0 beta 1. So that's what I have added it over here. Then we have to go to src java, and here we have to go to my module.kt. okay, I'll just close this. Then I will go to my practice project, and again I'll open that java expo modules my module.kt. okay, I'll open it over here. So firstly I will copy few of the imports. So these are all the imports. I'll just copy it and I'll paste it over here. So these are all the imports. Then if you check, we have to create this options. So whether you want to allow importing from gallery or not, I am keeping it as false. Page limit, because you can scan multiple pages, so here you can set page limit as well. What are the different formats you want it in? So I wanted it in JPEG and PDF. Now for PDF I will come back to it a little bit later. First we'll just concentrate on JPEG, and scanner mode I have kept it a full scanner mode. And here we are just passing this option to our GMS document scanning. Here we are getting hold of our context as well as activity, and here we are getting hold of our request code as well, which we will be using for on main activity result, which I'll come back to shortly. So I'll just copy all this, I'll go back to our module and I'll just paste it over here. Okay, now again coming back to our practice project. So here you can see that I have created an asynchronous function called scan, and here we are just starting our scanning activity, and if it is success, then we just launch this particular start intent sender for result. And if you see, we get that result on this on activity result. So if the request code matches what we have sent it over here, and if the result is also okay, then we just get the doc result. And here we get a list, like an array of pages, but just for simplicity I am only considering the first page. If you want, you can send an list of like array list or an array back to React Native side, but just for simplicity here I have hard coded, I only want the first page. That's what I have done it over here. And here you can see I'm sending the image URI back. So I'll just copy this code and I'll try to explain it more. So I'll just copy this and I'll just scroll down, and here after this I'll just press enter and I'll paste it over here. So this is an asynchronous function because we won't know how much long it will take for the user to scan it. That's why we are defining an asynchronous function. We are starting our scanner, and once the scanner has started successfully, so it will come over here, and then we just do this start intent sender for result. We pass the request code. In case of failure, I'm just displaying a toast message, but if you want, you can send some error message back to React Native side as well. So here is another method which is built in Expo module called on activity result. It will be listening for the start intent sender for result. So if the request code is the same and the result is okay, then we get this doc result, and from that we get the pages. And so I'll just copy this. So I'll just copy this entire bit of stuff and I'll paste it over here. So okay, now you can just improve the indentation, that's fine I guess. So yeah, here something like this, and here you can see once we get the result, we get all the pages from our result. So this is how we get the pages. Now here I have commented this out. The reason is like I told you, I am only interested in the first page that has been scanned, but if you want all the pages, then you will have to write all this bit of code, like getting the image URI inside this for loop. But yeah, I have just hard coded it for now. I only interested in the first page, and once we get that, I am sending it back to React Native side. So the image URI I am sending it back to React Native side. Now you might be wondering where I'm getting this value, this send event. This is already defined. So if you see, there is this function which is already defined called set value async. It is also using this send event value to send some value back to React Native side. That's how you send asynchronous data. If you also see the src index.ts, here you can see they have added this on change event which helps us to send value back. And if you see this change event payload, here you can see they have added this value. That's why I'm using value it inside our code as well. So if you see over here, I'm using the value same, but if you use some other key over here, you will have to change it over here as well. So just for simplicity, I am not changing it. Now given that we have defined this method called scan, we will have to define it inside our index.ts as well. So I will again go back to my practice project. Here is our index.ts. I'll just open it quickly, and here is the method. So I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll scroll down and I'll paste it over here. Okay, so that we have proper type intelligence on the TypeScript side. Now again, coming back to this code, some of you might be wondering that on activity result is deprecated. You are correct, that's right. But if you go to the documentation, I think they are using so typically you should use register for activity result, but the problem with Expo module is that we can't use register for activity result directly. Like I have tried looking into some other libraries as well, like Expo libraries, like the image picker one, how they are using register for activity result, and it is extremely complicated. Like I couldn't really figure it out what all things were going on. If you see in native Android, it's pretty simple. The problem with register for activity result is it can be only be used inside an activity or a fragment, but here we are inside an Expo module. If you see, that's why we can't use register for activity result, and that's the reason I have to use some of the code like this, so that some of this code I mean like this. But somehow in the future, if you are able to use register for activity result, then you don't have to, after the success listener, you don't have to call it like this. I will show you how you will have to call it. So you will have to call it like this. Okay, and where this scanner launcher is coming from, it is coming from this. So here inside the result, okay, you will get your result with the list of all the pages, whatever we have done it over here. So this thing remains the same. Only thing is on activity result, I'm not sure if this will be removed in future versions of Android, but the problem is using register for activity result is an extremely painful in Expo module, as well as in normal React Native CLI projects as well. But yeah, it is what it is. If you have a better way, do let me know in the comments. So that's what I wanted to clear it out. Now to use it, I'll again go back to our app.tsx, and I'll open it over here. I'll close everything else. Okay, don't save. So now I'll come back to our app.tsx, and firstly, if you see, we are importing use state and use effect from React, and we are also importing, this is the scan method which we have defined, and add change listener which will be called whenever you send data back to React Native side from your native module. So I'll just copy these two and I'll paste it over here. And also we need a few of this, like the touchable opacity and text. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here as well. Okay, next here is our URI. So this we will get from our native side. So for that I have defined one state. only once we have the URI we will display it inside an image view. And here is the use effect. So for use effect, again we are not really sure when we will get the data back from React Native side, right? That's why we have to keep listening for it. Once we have the proper data back inside the value, which is the image URI, I'm assigning it to our set URI variable. And here you can see that I have just defined one touchable opacity as well as one image component. So I'll just display that over here. Again I'll just copy paste it, and on press of this button we are calling the scan method, and once we have the URI we just display inside our image element. Now what I'll do is that I'll just for safety I will add this thing as well, not equal to empty, okay, ampersand, so something like this, so that our image is only displayed once we have a proper URI. So I think that should be it for the Android side. Next let's have a look for the iOS side. So again I'll go back to my practice project. I'll go to modules, my modules, iOS. So we have to open this my module.swift file. Okay, again I'll go back to our modules. I'll go to iOS, my module.swift, and I'll just open it on the right side. Okay, so this is our practice project. So firstly we will have to import VisionKit, so I will add that particular import as well. Next now here is the problem, we have to create another class because we can't directly extend this delegate over here because this delegate requires an NS object. If you don't understand what I'm trying to say, it's okay. I'll just copy paste all the code first and then I'll explain it to you. So I'll just copy this. Okay, then I'll just copy this too. I'll paste it inside over here. Okay, then inside we also need this on create method. Just have a bit of patience, I'll show you the entire code. And here you can see I'm just defining the same method, so I'll just scroll down over here. I'll just add some space and I'll copy this method synchronous function and I'll paste it over here. Okay, so now I'll just show you guys the code which I have copied. So firstly we are importing VisionKit. Now like I told you, we can't extend this delegate over here because it requires an NS object. That's why I have created this document scanner delegate, and we will be initializing this delegate inside this particular class, as you can see over here. Now once it has been scanned, I have created this particular callback so that our my module knows that whatever is the URI of the image that has been scanned is sent back to us, because with the help of this my module only we will send it back to React Native side. Now again it takes a string. Like I told you, just for Android we can scan multiple documents, but as you can see over here, I'm just getting the first index because I don't care about the other pages. But again, if you care about the other pages, you will have to loop something like this. And here also you will have to take array of strings, but just for simplicity sake I am just getting one array. And here we are overriding this method, so this is not the method I have defined by myself. Given that we are extending this delegate, we get this particular method. So I have just created one UUID. I am getting hold of our file manager, and here with the help I have created this helper method called get directory path, which we are using it over here. So first we get the path where this particular file will be saved. So this is the path, so you can just copy paste it if you want to. And here I'm just applying some name for this particular scan document. Then like I told you, I'm not using the for loop because I'm only interested in the first page that has been scanned. So that's why I'm hard coding 0 over here. Then I'm getting the image, I'm compressing that so that I get this image data, and then we just create this particular file. I'm dismissing our control, and then I'm making use of this callback to send that image URI back to our my module class. So here you can see we first create this VN document camera view controller, then we create object for our document camera delegate file as well. Next we override this on create method and we set the delegate over here. Now this is boilerplate code which is present by default, and here you can see just like Android also we have for iOS we have created a scan method on the main thread. We just keep listening for on document scan, the callback method which we have defined, and once we get that we just send it back to React Native side. So again, this on change, here you can see I've just copy paste the same thing which was present by default, and this is how you launch the camera picker controller for iOS. Now for Android we don't require any permissions, that is handled internally by MLKit. It doesn't even ask for permissions, but for iOS we have to write the permission. So for that I'll go back to iOS, scan iOS. So this is my practice project, so ignore. Inside info.plist we'll have to copy the camera permission. So what I'll do is that I'll just copy this thing. Okay, I'll go back to iOS, my app, info.plist. I'll scroll down and I'll paste it over here. So hopefully this should be it. I will try to run my application. In case if there is any error, I will let you know. But if there is the once I have the desired output, I'll just show you guys the output. So as you can see, here is the output for Android. I have the scan button. I'll click on it. I have this sample passport open on, I found it on Google. So I'll just scan it. It is auto capture, so it, as you can see, it has automatically captured it. I didn't have to click on the capture button, and here you can see it has captured it. I'll just click on done, and here you can see it has displayed our photo. Now I don't know why this unhandled promise rejection has been happening. I couldn't really figure it out. If you know, do let me know in the comments. So yeah, let's have a look at the output for iOS. As you can see, I have installed my app on a real iOS device as well. I'll just dismiss this. Here you can see the scan button. I have clicked on the scan button. I will allow the permission. And here you can see it has automatically captured for me. Now it is telling me to capture more things. I won't do that. Like I told you, I'm only getting the first document which has been scanned. So I'll just click on the save button. And here you can see this is our document which has been scanned. Now the image width and height, you can change it accordingly, which is on the React Native side, and change the resize mode to occupy the entire image. So yeah, that's it. There is one more thing which I want to show you. Like if you remember, for our document scanning for Android, there was this PDF format as well which we have written about. So I want to show you the PDF format output as well. Like we won't be displaying the PDF once the document has been scanned. We will be sharing it with other apps. So if you're not interested in this, you can stop the video right now, because I don't want to confuse you all. Like if your motto is just to do document scanning and display that scan inside your app, that's fine. So just stop the video now. This part is only for Android, and that too for PDF sharing. So as you can see, I'll just click on this particular scan button over here, and it will auto capture it for me. Now that it has auto captured it for me, I can just click on the done button. So I've clicked on the done button, and here you can see it has shown me the share sheet. Now the output is little bit blurred because I don't want to show you my share sheet, but it's basically popping all the apps which can handle PDF sharing. Also in this, like I'm not really sending any data back to React Native side, that's why. Now let's have a look at the code. So there are few changes which I have made. So firstly, have a look at this import. So I have added few imports like this file provider, this PDF one, as well as this file one. So make sure you update your imports. Then if I scroll down, here you can see that I have commented out all this code. So I don't need all this code because that was part of images. Now for PDF, I have added an extra bit of code. So here we get it in PDF format. Here, if you remember, we had added this PDF format as well. That's why I'm getting it over here. If you're not interested, you can remove this and just keep this image format. Like most of you might be interested in the image format. So once we have the PDF, I get the PDF URI. I'm not really making use of this page count, but I have just added it in just in case if you're interested. Then we just create the external URI. So this let is only because some of this could be null. That's why just error handling stuff. okay, and then we just do create a share intent, and with the help of our start activity we share it. Now this is all the code for it, so you can just copy paste all this code which I have. Now there are few more things which you have to do for PDF sharing. Firstly, you will have to go to your Android project, go to app, src main res. Inside that you will have to create a folder called xml. Inside that create a file called file_patch.xml, and you will just have to copy paste this bit of code. Once you do that, then you will have to go to android manifest.xml, and here also you will have to add this bit of code. Again, this is only for PDF, so if you are not doing this, if you are only doing it for image, you can ignore all this stuff. So you can just add this bit of code as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.